It's short, it's sweet, it's simple, easy reading, and it's so real and genuine. And we can change. And by the grace of God, we pray for the grace to ask the Blessed Mother to change our hearts. Mother Mary, conform me into your image. That's one thing that you thought of as a new Catholic. And when you read Miss Rosie's book, her devotion to the Blessed Mother, some of those thoughts you had.
She had a devotion to the Rosary at a young age, and that really, just was wow to me, because, she was a young girl. I mean, not many young girls are going to be worried about praying, and she would, she learned how to pray the Rosary, and she would keep the Rosary in her windowsill, so when she laid down at night, she could pray.
Yes.
And, she learned about the importance of getting to Mass on Sunday, so she made sure she was going. She told my mom, I'm going to go, even if I have to walk, and so, she made sure to get herself there, and that's just inspiring,
To you.
wow, a little girl, she had that zeal.
Right.
That's, you read about the saints who are like that. That's why when you said, she's going to be up for canonization, I could believe it.
Well, Missy, you mentioned heart. About the old saying that the mother is the heart of the home. That is so true. Tell us what you think about that.
Well, one of my favorite chapters in Miss Rosie's book is called The Vocation of Wife and Mother. And she very much talks about mother staying home and being the heart and that standard there, and the way we act in our homes. And she said, when if you wish to be treated with dignity, then you must set the standard and example. And wow, how do we do that in this day and time? We could be saints in this day and time.
That's right.
We pray for grace. And she talked about speaking softly and never screaming in the home. What do you think about that, Casey?
Yeah, that's something I think we all struggle with, but it's so important.
Yeah, because at times you just get
you get frustrated.
Those little darlings are not darlings all the time.
See, we're human.
They push your buttons.
Yes, they do.
It's a good practice to to build your patience, to remain loving and gentle and calm with them, and they're going to imitate us.
They do imitate.
Yes, they do. I mean, and also something. Well, one thing that Miss Rosie said that kind of helps me remember that is, she said, this is our domestic church, and you would be offended if someone was yelling in church.
That's true.
So you shouldn't yell in your home.
That's right.
And we've got to remember that Jesus is always with us, and would He approve of how we're acting? Would our mother Mary act like this?
Right.
Think about how she was and try to imitate her.
And talking about that, about the church, you're also honoring God the Father, by doing what you're doing.
Miss Rosie said, loud and rude tone of voices creates disrespect and even ill manners. So that puts a lot of importance, a lot of focus on us as the heart of the home, as a wife and mother. And that's how important we are. And we could change by raising our children. She talks about the little tiny details of every day, and we don't think it's important, and the world doesn't see it, but how important it is to have all these little decorations out and have our home as a domestic church. How we talk.
And when we don't put them out, our kids notice that. When you make it a tradition and something that's important, and then all of a sudden you don't do it, it does something.
It creates memories.
Yeah, it creates
happy
memories.
Missy, like you just said, having the mother home helps to make all that happen. And you hear the saying, "Home is where the heart is." And as the mother, we are the heart of the home. We are what makes the house a home. If we're not there, who's making it a home?
Right.
And it's from us that we teach our children about God. And we can teach and help encourage vocations in our children.
Right.
You know, if we're not here and they're off at school, off at daycare, they're not going to get that. They're not
No.
going to get all of that information.
And then you miss that. You
Right.
miss.
You miss the details.
You miss
of
all the
their
details of
growing
them.
up
Yeah.
Right.
and what they're learning.
Right.
We get to teach them all this, and
Mhm.
Daddy gets to teach them all of this. And
Mhm.
Miss
Right.
Rosie said if a mother does not return home to her place of freedom, honor, and integrity, her husband and children and grandchildren will reap even greater ills, and so will our society. And we can see in the world the result of that. That's why
Right.
it's so important to go back here to these ideas, these teachings.
Mhm.
And it's even if you don't do these things at this time, you know, you could always learn some ideas from us, and we're sharing what we actually do in
Right.
our home. This is real life for
Yeah.
us.
Mhm.